in a different city heard about me, asked me to come try out for his team. His name was Coach McKnight. He took me on this team with 18 and 19-year-olds who were college bound. And I just spent the next year of that season getting dunked on by them because they were so much better than me. I was that 12-year-old who couldn't even make his 7th grade team. So what he did is he gave me that first opportunity to succeed in a sport I learned to love. But what really this Coach McKnight did in my life is he looked at me and he looked at my arm and he said, "Why don't you use that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Your nub. Why don't you use that?" What this coach did is he changed my perspective. He changed my outlook on myself and turned me around not only into a great basketball player, but a better person. Going to high school was a terrible experience for me at first. I was both physically and socially awkward. Every day I came home from school and locked myself in the room and just wanted to be away from people because my experience from people was that they were mean and they were cruel. And, they took away my confidence in myself. The one place that I felt safe, the one niche I had was on the basketball court. I just buried myself in basketball. That's all I did, because on the court I mattered and I was somebody. People depended on me to succeed. And everywhere else I was just, an insecure guy who got made fun of. My senior year, I started to really dominate in basketball and I started to get different scholarship offers, Pepperdine, San Francisco. I finally was starting to excel in a sport that at the beginning I was a laughingstock at. I'm playing in this game, I landed on my leg wrong and broke it. All those scholarship offers, they disappeared. I was that kid again who just wanted to lock myself away in my room and disappear. So I got to a point in life, I broke my leg. I wanted to quit, basketball. I wanted to quit everything. I had no idea what I was doing with myself. And, again, that great mentor in my life, Coach McKnight stepped in and he said, "Kevin, if you quit now, I'm going to kick your butt. You've come way too far and you've affected so many lives and you've become such a great kid." And, I didn't feel it at the time, but it was what I needed to hear in life, to push forward. I ended up going to Fork Union Military Academy in Virginia for a year. It was a decision to go and still chase that dream, still hold on to it. Rather than quitting and giving up, it was the only option I really had. Came a point in Fork Union where I started to get recruited. The school, Cal Poly, this D1 school out in California. I drove to the school with my parents, and the whole coaching staff was lined up in the parking lot as I drove up. And we got out of the car and we walked up to the coaches, and the head coach was passing a phone back and forth with the assistants and yelling over this phone. And then when I walked up to shake his hand, he clicked the phone shut. And he's like, "I'm not going to beat around the bush." That was the athletic director. And me and the whole coaching staff just got fired. That was another blow. And I felt like everything I was working towards was just pushing against a mountain that couldn't move. That maybe people were right. Maybe people knew that it couldn't be possible and that I couldn't do it. And I started questioning myself. I started questioning what I was doing. But I was reminded by people, thousands of people, who came up to me with children or different disabilities and told me that I was their pillar. I was their inspiration. I was their person that kept them moving. I was the person that made them believe when others told them they couldn't. I can't even tell you how many people in this world told me that I couldn't do it. I couldn't succeed. I couldn't play ball. But I went on and I didn't quit. And I got a scholarship, a full ride to D1 school out in Manhattan, and became the first basketball player to play with one hand at that level. Today if you gave me two arms, I wouldn't even take it. It became something, a part of me, who I am. We all have those insecurities that hold us back from what we ultimately want to do, our goals and dreams. I was just a basketball player. I'm no different than you, except I'm 6'11" and have one arm. So let me ask you, what's holding you back from achieving your dreams?
I'm Mike Smith, and you're watching The Harbor.
Over the past few years, I've had the privilege of walking in and out of hundreds of high schools all across the country. And I've noticed something. Every time I walk in, it's kind of the same thing. The schools look the same, they feel the same. The kids, they're all the same. And it doesn't matter how different your city, your community, or your state is. The high schools, they just feel the same. It's like there's this pressure to be similar. It's like everyone's trying to be the same kind of unique. It was the same thing in my high school. You'd walk into the cafeteria and you could see it. Your football team was here, your cheerleaders were here, the band kids were here, your leadership kids are here, and there's that group of kids that, you're not a clique, but you're just one big giant clique, and they're over here. And it's the same thing in the adult world too. The cool guys from New York are the same in Austin as they are in Denver as it is in San Francisco. Now, it doesn't matter how old you are or what you're into. It's like there's always this universal pressure to conform. And why do I think we do it? Why do I think we fall into this pressure of trying so badly to fit in? It's because we're scared. I think most people are terrified of what people think about them. Most people are so busy trying to impress someone, oftentimes people that they don't even like, that we go to these incredible lengths just to try to fit in. It breaks my heart today to see how many young people have compromised who they are and what they believe in because of this fear of just not fitting in. So where does this pressure come from? It comes from the pressures we have at home. It comes from the pressures that we have at school. It comes from the pressures on our sports team or the groups that we're a part of. The pressures come from the TV that we watch, the magazines that we read, the music we listen to. It even comes from online. It comes from this desire to wanting to have a photo have a certain amount of likes or reblogs or revines. It comes from wanting our videos to be shared so many different times. These pressures come from all different places. So what's happening at a base level? It's like we're letting the outside world tell us who we are and what we're supposed to be and what's expected of us. I think the reason that we give into pressure, the reason that it has such a profound effect on us is because, at some level, whatever you're into, I don't care if you're into football, I don't care if you're in the band, I don't care if you play, video games, at some level, we're all kind of living for the applause. We all want to be connected. We all want to be appreciated. We all want to feel valued. At some level, all of us, we want to be known. And I think pressure, it affects us all differently. Most of you, you're just trying to fit in. A lot of you are just trying to survive. You're trying to find your crew, your group, what you can feel connected with. And every day there's this kind of pressure to sort of see, who you're going to identify the most with. And I think that's where most of you are at. Some of you, you're the kids watching this that are saying in your head, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. But we all know that you're the ones who actually care the most about what people think about you. And then there are some of you who are kind of like me. There's this pressure to look a certain way, be a certain thing, and you give into that. I was that kid that was, as long as people were talking about me on a Monday morning when they got back to school and the crazy things that I did over the weekend, I was happy. And then there's this group of students, it's like this pressure just doesn't really have an effect on them. They're comfortable in their own skin, they're confident with who they are. Pressure, it really does have a different effect on all of us. There's this interesting book where a hospice nurse, she interviewed people on their deathbed. She basically asked them what their biggest regrets were right before they died. And the most common regret was that they wish they had the courage to live a life more true to themselves and not the life that others expected from them. And as you think about those people on their deathbed, I don't want that to be your regret. I don't want that to be my regret. Some of the happiest, most successful, most incredible people I know are the ones who are completely comfortable in their skin. It's like they don't have to give into this pressure, and they're certainly not pressuring other people to believe or think or act like they do. For you girls, there's always going to be this pressure to focus on, clothes and hair and makeup and what boys think about you or how far you're willing to go with someone to feel appreciated or validated. And I can promise you that those things aren't going to be the things that define you. And for you boys, there's always going to be this pressure to fit in, to conform, to take something from a girl. It's like that locker room talk thing. And I can promise you that those aren't going to be the things that define you either. My hope for you is the next time you go to a party, you don't have to drink a beer. You don't have to give up a piece of yourself to feel included. You don't have to live your life for the Facebook or Instagram likes. My hope for you is that you can live a life where you're just fully confident and comfortable with who you are. This is your life. You either choose to make your own decisions or you choose to let other people make them for you.
Hey DP, it's Kaya, and I hope you're having a great year so far, and I have some important information for you. In your English class, you will be receiving this flyer and map for back to school night. Please make sure to fill out the schedule and give it to your parent or guardian so they are able to find their way around our campus this Thursday, September 5th. If you need a new flyer or have any questions, please see Ms. Huffschmidt in the activities office. Have a great rest of your day, and make sure to tune in next week for some all-new DP News.